What is up, guys? What's up, Fireflies? Fernando from Financial Firefly here. Today we are doing our first reaction video from Gali, Galileo Russell from Hyperchange. So Gali is a Tesla fanatic. He is a diehard Tesla, Elon Musk fanboy, as myself, but he has taken it to the extreme, and I love it. I'm all about it. I'm all about this dude. His research is on point. He connects the dots, and his energy, I feel like I just know this dude. We're best friends. He doesn't know it, but I love you, Gali. Shout out to Hyperchange. So here Gali is on Yahoo Finance reacting to Tesla's 5-to-1 stock split. He kind of goes into it with some of the older generation, these boomers that still might not get it. I don't know this dude's name. He's a pundit on Yahoo Finance from time to time. He kind of challenges Gali on some things, playing devil's advocate as he should. But it kind of just goes to show the spread that some people just don't get it. Some people just aren't really connecting the dots the way that the younger generation is, and their really mind is kind of stuck in the past. So without further ado, let's get into it and see what Gali has to say. Hey guys, don't forget to start your investing journey by claiming your 2 free stocks from Webull, one of which could be valued up to $1,400 when you deposit $100 or more. Possibly 1 free share of Apple, Microsoft, or Facebook when you sign up with Robinhood, and your $10 when you sign up and deposit with M1 Finance. Comment down below to tell me what you get. Links in the description. Let's get back to it.
I think this has been a long time in the making. I mean, the stock IPO'd about a decade ago and has risen 4,000%. You know, it was 15 or 20 bucks a share. Now it's a lot harder for investors to buy in. I actually have been advocating this on my channel for a long time, even a more aggressive like 1 for 20 or 30 split, because I really think, you know, it could be 10 years before a lot of people in college or high school buy a Tesla car, but a lot of them want to buy stock today, get started investing, be involved in the company. These are future customers. And I got a ton of like feedback from really young subscribers to my YouTube channel being like, man, I wish I could buy into Tesla, but I can't afford it. And so I really think this is an awesome move where Tesla, we've seen them, you know, lead in a lot of different ways for getting smaller retail investors involved, like on their conference calls and doing their part to sort of democratize the financial system. So I was super pumped to see them open this up and sort of, you know, give a win to the little investor.
So first he starts off with the little investor, right? So 5-to-1 stock splits really give access to those that don't have access to fractional shares. So mainly international investors, maybe younger non-accredited investors who just don't know, they want to get in, but that $1,500 price point was way too high. So now that's reduced by a factor of 5. We're at $250, $300 a share. It's a lot more palpable for those who don't have a lot of disposable income. And so for that reason, it's really good for the little guy.
Hey, Gali, you know, we were talking about this a little earlier in the hour before you came on, and we did mention that, you know, you can buy shares in ETFs and things like that. But Tesla, it's hard to buy an ETF that represents what Tesla does. So they're represented, for example, in some auto industry ETFs, but Tesla views itself as a disruptor in the auto industry, not as part of the auto industry. And it's in some other tech funds. So I'm just throwing that out there to say this is really kind of is an unusual stock. You can buy tech stocks in tech ETFs like Apple, Microsoft, and Google, but it's hard to do that with Tesla.
Yeah, and that's why people have really had a hard time understanding the valuation and rationalizing what is going on with Tesla, because they try and put them in the box of another automotive company. You know, what happened when Apple turned the phone into a computer, unlocked trillions of dollars of market cap of applications built on top of that new sort of breakthrough. And Tesla's about to, or is turning the car into the computer. And, you know, fast forward 3 to 5 years, they're going to have a marketplace of apps. There's going to be, you know, trillions of dollars of market capitalization built of companies on top of this autonomous vehicle computer platform that Tesla's building. You know, they're also going to turn our roofs into energy generation machines with, you know, the solar panels, they have the batteries. So this is a lot more and a lot different than a traditional car company. And so I think it's sort of a totally unique beast.
He hit it on the head. Tesla is like no other company. They're really integrating and at the forefront of crossing technologies and industries, right? So like he said, they're turning the car into the computer. It's basically, Tesla's basically an Apple on wheels. And now there's rumors of an Apple car. We'll see about that. But no other automaker has the vision to go into battery manufacturing and going vertically integrating the supply chain and saying, all right, what are my fundamental constraints and how do I solve them? That's Tesla. And then when they do that, they have the capacity to really crossbreed industries and disrupt then the traditional OEMs, let's say, or anybody for that instance. And they're really just coming into their own. You can't really classify them as a traditional automaker, which a lot of people still mistakenly do.
Yeah, I'm one of the people who thinks the company might be overvalued simply because those ancient dinosaurs known as General Motors and Toyota, they actually do have some of the same technology. They know how to build some things. Do you perceive any risks for Tesla's future?
Not from Ford or GM. I mean, those companies, I think, are going to have to get really lucky if they're not going to go bankrupt. Their expertise is in outsourcing everything, having MBAs tell them what to do, hiring really top executives, not investing in the future of technology. They're not vertically integrating. I mean, they don't have Tesla's is, so there's on Cato Road in Silicon Valley, Tesla's hiring 400 people to build batteries 24/7 around the clock. This is the type of commitment that is going to allow them to bring this breakthrough next battery cell to market. That is the reason why they're the only car company with a 300 or 400 mile EV on the market that they can sell profitably. GM they literally can't even come up with an electric vehicle that has 300 miles of range, even though Tesla did 10 years ago. It's almost like laughable. And I think it's just because they're not good at it. They're good at creating engines and motors that burn fossil fuels, not the electric drivetrain. And it's just a totally different technology platform. And that's why I think companies like Rivian and NIO are a lot more of the competition for Tesla than legacy automakers.
10-year gap. GM, Ford, they have billions, hundreds of billions of dollars of legacy investment invested into these internal combustion engines. And that's just not going to fly today. You can't compete with Tesla, who was doing 300 miles of range back in 2012, and Ford and GM are still struggling to do that. Unassailable lead, innovation at its finest, hiring 400 engineers, please. That's minuscule. They're going to be hiring thousands and thousands and thousands of engineers, and that's the place to work. That's where all these college kids want to work. They don't want to work for these legacy automakers. They want to work for Tesla. They want to work for somebody who is changing the world.
Well, those soon to be bankrupt legacy automakers, they do make a lot of money selling a lot of pickup trucks and a lot of SUVs that people are buying today.
I would strongly encourage you to look at their financial results in the last quarter, and you'll see both of them lost a ton of money and Tesla was profitable.
Well, Gali, so if you don't think that they are competitors, you're totally discounting them, say that they're going to be lucky if they don't go bankrupt. Who should Tesla be worried about? Who is their strongest competitor out there right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're not competitors. It's just they're not going to be able to bring an electric vehicle to market with the same specs, at the same price, with the same features. And I think, it's the innovator's dilemma. Are you going to cannibalize your most high margin, pickup truck with a really low margin electric one to start? No, that would kill your business. So a lot of boardroom dynamics going on there. I think a threat to Tesla that is not often talked about that I actually think is one of the biggest things is they don't have a personal mobility solution. I think there's an explosion. Why did Bird Scooter hit a valuation of $2 billion overnight? Because it had huge consumer traction. As cities get more and more crowded, look at India. Why do they sell 5 times as many 2- and 3-wheel cars versus 4-wheeled sedans? Because as urbanization occurs, I think there's going to be a huge explosion that we're already seeing, like electric bikes, motorcycles, scooters. And maybe the car isn't the most efficient way to get people around a city anymore. 80% of car trips only have 1 people, but we have enough batteries and drivetrain to move around 5 people. That seems super inefficient. So if I was thinking about the biggest threat for Tesla, if I was meeting with Elon Musk about one thing we should add to our product roadmap and a strategy that we're not addressing, it's how do we address the personal mobility segment? This is a huge opportunity that's inevitably going to be a huge piece about everybody gets around in cities, and Tesla has not announced an e-bike or an e-scooter. And so that's something I'm personally just super curious about.
He agreed. Gali, 1 billion% agreed. And he knows the constraint here. It's battery production. Tesla cannot produce enough batteries right now to meet their demand, and that's for their main product line. Forget their innovation roadmap of the Cybertruck and the Tesla Semi and the Roadster 2. They could produce these things right now, but they are production constrained. They are capacity constrained. They're not demand constrained. So while it would be fantastic to have electric scooters and all these things that can link up to the Cybertruck. which isn't here yet, it's just not feasible. And Gali knows this. He didn't really touch it, but it's a production constraint. And once that personal mobility solution is in the market from Tesla, and it links to the phone and the Tesla ecosystem, it's just going to absolutely revolutionize and destroy everything. Like, imagine your Tesla scooter, linking up to your phone, which links to your Tesla watch, which links to your Tesla Powerwall, which links to your car. Like, it's a fully integrated system. So they all talk to each other and they're all going to know. So it's coming. He knows it is. I would love to see it too, Gali. I'm sorry it's not here. It's just a production thing. We'll get there.
Can I throw in my own pet idea here and see what you think, Gali? I think Tesla should revolutionize lawn equipment. I'm talking about gas-powered. Shauna's laughing. She has some experience in the suburbs. I'm talking about gas-powered leaf blowers, gas-powered lawn mowers. They're noisy, they're obnoxious, and a lawnmower pollutes more than a car because it doesn't have any kind of filter on it. They're not required to have any kind of filter for the exhaust. So I think Elon Musk should get into lawn equipment. Honda does it.
I love it, Rick. And so there's actually a startup called Ego, which makes like electric lawn equipment, which is doing really well. That's awesome. But like, I think this is a perfect analogy for why Tesla is so amazing. Everything is going electric, even lawnmowers, even leaf blowers, even airplanes and ships in 10 years. And so this new technology propulsion platform, everything burns fossil fuels to get around, to heat our homes, to do everything. It's all going electric, even leaf blowers. So that's why you have to think about this as way more of an opportunity than selling sedans or crossovers. They're going to semi-trucks, pickup trucks, batteries for the grid, electric bikes and scooters. Like this atomic unit of that new battery cell that they're building at that Cato Road facility I was telling you about in Silicon Valley, that is the code to unlocking everything, electric lawnmowers, leaf blowers, everything. And that's why to me, Tesla is so exciting. It's about, us all changing how we create, store, and use energy in society without fossil fuels. And that's really the bet that, that's really what Tesla's solving.
Black & Decker already makes some of this stuff, but it's utilitarian. It's not sexy.
Hey, Gali, I mean, this is interesting. I like all these ideas that are floating around what Tesla can do next. But in terms of their immediate obstacle, I think a lot of investors, the big question out there is how they're going to scale their battery supply going forward. And we have this battery event. I think it's a Battery Investor Day coming up. So I'm just curious just what you think they're going to announce and how much of their valuation really hinges on this.
Yeah, so this is huge. And I think this is why Tesla stock is soaring, is because of this battery day. So I just put out a video on my channel last week that basically, I think it says what Tesla's going to announce. They're going to bring battery cell production in-house. They're already ramping this production. And what did they announce in between when I was last on Yahoo? This Austin factory. They confirmed they have their biggest factory ever in Austin, Texas, 2,000 acres, ecological paradise right along the river. It's going to be so, so awesome. They're going to be building the semi-truck and Cybertruck there. So if you think about those two vehicles, they're a little more rugged. They need a little more performance than a sedan because you really need that battery to move a ton of weight around super cost efficiently. And so I think this is the first perfect use case for that new battery cell they're coming up with, is to address this, unlock a massive new segment of pickup trucks and semi-trucks that they're going to be building out of that Austin facility. And so I think this is the big bottleneck on growth. Tesla, what are they doing? 25, 30 billion in revenue, maybe 50 billion in revenue at maturity with Shanghai too. But this Tesla Texas Terafactory that they're building in Austin is, 20 to 30 to 40, 50 billion additionally in incremental revenue as it scales. And so watching the pace of progress on this, I mean, they're building new factories in Shanghai, Berlin, Austin, all at once that are all going to be pumping out new cars in 18 months. Like, I don't think they would be doing that if they already hadn't figured out a way to scale the battery production. So to answer your question, Shauna, like, yes, battery production and scaling that is the biggest constraint, but Tesla's signaling we're already spending billions on CapEx to build the cars because we already figured out how to build those batteries. They're just going to tell us how to do it at that investor event.
Tesla Giga! Oh, it's going to be so epic. Cybertruck, Tesla Semi, once these battery constraints have been overcome in production, which they kind of are, well, they will be once Project Roadrunner is revealed. All right, Gali, hell yeah. So there's another part. I can't really find it right now, but Rick challenges Gali a little bit more on the OEMs and the threat that they pose to Tesla. And they really don't pose a threat to Tesla. They're so big, they're so incumbent, they have so much R&D. They're like a giant freight train trying to stop and change directions. It's just, it takes time, it takes money, and it takes energy. They are not devoting, any of that right now. So no, Tesla has an unassailable lead, and they will continue to widen the gap between them and everybody else. Like he was saying, they're 10 years ahead of Ford and GM. 10 years. That's not easily overcome, especially if your pace of innovation is slower. You're not going to get lucky. You're not going to have this massive miracle breakthrough where your battery energy density and your production capacity is going to increase by like 50 orders of magnitude to catch up. It just doesn't work. Like you said, they're building factories all around the world on all the continents strategically for those demand needs. And when you produce something locally, it costs less and you can make it more tailorable to the consumer so those local demands can be met. Tesla just has an amazing, brilliant master plan, and they're executing on every level. Enough said. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was our first reaction video to Hyperchange from Gali on Financial Firefly. My name is Fernando, and I'll catch you later.